Hey, Kevin here at Skylabs, bringing you another video. This time we are going to talk about the Audio-Technica LP60 and why it's so frustrating trying to find something else to compete at this price point in the new entry-level market for turntables. And one thing before we get into this video, thanks to everybody that's gone to skylabsaudio.com and purchased items from the shop. It really does help support this channel, and I really appreciate it. If you haven't been over there, go check it out. There's lots of cool t-shirts, coffee mugs, Grado products, our acrylic platter mats. We also have the record cleaner that we make in-house in West Des Moines, Iowa, and we really appreciate it. So for the last couple years, I have been looking for an alternative to the LP60 to compete in that price point, just to give my customers another option. You know, usually these customers are brand new to the hobby, or they might be purchasing a turntable for a gift. Maybe it's somebody getting back into records, maybe a second room, or maybe an office system. I even had a couple come in and purchase an LP60 to put in their Airbnb. They wanted something no frills, easy to use, and if the stylus got broke, it would be a relatively inexpensive stylus to replace. I think there are lots of reasons for people to want a $200 brand new turntable. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of options besides the LP60. A lot of entry-level turntables are ruled out because of the stylus or the cartridge they have. I'm not going to sell a turntable that comes with a ceramic cartridge with the red tip that you can buy replacement styluses on Alibaba 10 for $10. Those have no business touching records in my opinion. If they work for you, you love those turntables, that's fine. I'm just not going to sell them in my store, and that's another debate for another time. I'm sorry if I offended your turntable. So my first attempt to compete with the LP60 was a Victrola VPRO-2000-SLV. Pros for this turntable, the profit margins are amazing. And I'm not going to share my costs and what I would sell these for because I would get in trouble with my distributor, but businesses that sell these turntables make good money on them. The other pro is there's a counterbalance on it. You can set the weight for this turntable, and it comes with an AT3600 cartridge on it, which is the same cartridge that is on the LP60s. So meeting our minimum requirements as far as the cartridge and stylus goes. And the cons with this turntable would be, first off, I bought 5 of these. 2 of them came back within a couple weeks with the motor not working. And that was a deal breaker. I was done. I gave the customers a refund, or I maybe even upgraded them to an LP60, and I never purchased another one of these. They're cheap. They feel cheap. The tone arm doesn't even really move all that freely. It feels like it's going to bind up on you. I would just avoid these. If they last more than 6 months, I'd be shocked. Spend the extra money, get the LP60. So after seeing that Music Hall had just released their new US-1, I thought, you know what? Okay, cool. Maybe this turntable is something that could rival. It's a little bit above the LP60, but Music Hall's a great brand. They've got a lot of name recognition. They make a lot of really good tables. I'll take a shot on this. I grabbed one. I learned my lesson from the Victrolas and only purchased one just in case. And the Music Hall did have some pros. Let's go over those first. And that would be the profit margin for a business owner. Perfect. It has a counterbalance, which is great. You can set the tracking force. You can swap out head shells. And we've got our baseline entry-level cartridge we like, which is the Audio-Technica 3600. Great little cart. It's not going to hurt your records. So those are the pros. The cons, lightweight, cheap junk. I mean, it really is. I'm not going to try and hide it. This thing's trying to look like a DJ turntable. You know, it's got speed adjustments on it. The pictures look great. You know, they did a great job photographing it, making it look like, you know, a quality turntable, but this is definitely not. So the middle of the speed control, which is 0, you would think would be 33 1/3 or 45 RPM, depending on what speed you're on, and it's not. To get to those speeds, you literally have to move the speed up 2 notches. And I can only imagine other people are buying this turntable and finding that they're having to move it down a couple notches, or maybe some people are getting lucky and the 0 position is the correct speed. But that was not the situation with ours. I'm not even going to bother returning this turntable. I'm just going to let it go at a cheap price and call it a day. But I would not recommend these to anybody. For the money, you should just get yourself an LP60. And that really brings us to the LP60. Why do I like this turntable so much? Why do I sell this turntable if there's not a good margin on it? And I'll tell you, because they work and they don't come back broken. I've had one customer in the last 5 years say that they've had trouble with their LP60. And I'm still waiting to hear back from them, because I did ask them, I said, please let me know what you find out when you talk to Audio-Technica. I'd really like to be able to tell my customers what your experience was like. And I still haven't heard back, because this was within the last couple weeks. They work, they're automatic, they're not trying to be something they're not. I feel like they're trying to provide you with the best turntable they can at that price point. And there's something to be said for that. I would rather my customers be happy with the turntable they purchase than make a larger profit margin and have to deal with returns. I don't want to do that at all. And therefore, as of now, I don't see myself selling an entry-level turntable at this price point except for the AT-LP60. There's a lot of really good attributes to this turntable. Let's go over those. First off, it's got a really small footprint. And in this case, it can be a good thing. You don't need special furniture for it, or if you have one of those big, large record consoles from the 70s and 60s, like grandparents used to have, these fit as a replacement for those consoles. Very few turntables will fit in the original turntable's place. If you need to replace a turntable in your console, check the dimensions first, but most likely it's going to fit. Another great feature of the LP60 is these are really kid-friendly for two reasons. One, it's automatic. A kid can go up and push the start button and it'll start and it'll return at the end. There's no real reason to touch the tone arm or the stylus or anything like that. And the other reason is if you bring the LP60 close to the front of the table, even a shorter kid can reach up and hit that play button. So really kid-friendly turntable. They're fully automatic, which is another great feature for the LP60. So if maybe you're giving this as a gift to an elderly person that maybe has shaky hands, this is another good turntable for them. Once again, because it's fully automatic. It's going to place a tone arm. It's going to return the tone arm for them. The other positives would be these are really dependable. They won't hurt your records. And they come with a built-in Phono preamp. So you don't need a receiver or an amplifier with a Phono preamp in it. You can connect these to really any set of powered speakers or any receiver you might own, even an AV receiver or a modern one without a Phono preamp. They also make a Bluetooth option. So if you did want to connect it to a set of Bluetooth headphones, or you wanted to connect it to like a JBL Flip or a Beats Pill, any kind of Bluetooth speaker you might think of, the Bluetooth version of the LP60 will sync up just fine. And for the cons, really the cons are mainly for the people selling them. There's not a very big profit margin on them. And they are on the lightweight side. They're not going to take a lot of stomping around or banging on a table. They do need to be on a sturdy surface. And there's no counterbalance. And unfortunately, that limits you to this cartridge. You cannot put a different cartridge on one of these turntables except for the Audio-Technica AT3600. Fortunately, that's a good cartridge with plenty of styluses out there, plenty of availability, and a reasonable price to replace the stylus if you need to. You know, and my final conclusions and thoughts, if you are getting back into vinyl records or you are looking for a second turntable, maybe a gift, definitely check out the LP60. In my opinion, it is kind of the baseline for new turntables. I really wouldn't suggest going any cheaper than that. You know, as somebody that's sold these turntables for this long, I hear nothing but really good things from my customers about how they're really happy with their purchase. So if you're in the market this season for an entry-level turntable, definitely check out the LP60. And I think it'd be a great gift for anybody you have in mind. I hope everybody has a great holiday season. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, if that's something you celebrate. And thank you very much. We'll see you next time.